Hey everyone, welcome to Jazz Tag. I wasn't going to do this, and there's blues tag out there also, but I watched Rachel, the music ma'am, and I know she doesn't have this big jazz collection, but she did it. She made it work. And I wasn't going to do it just because I don't have like the jazz collection I used to have. Oh God, that's going to be kind of hard to do. But after I watched Rachel, she inspired me. Rachel, you inspired me. You're watching, so I appreciate that, and it got me going. You know what, I could probably even do that blues one. I might not be able to answer every single question, but a lot of times I don't anyway, so big deal. So we're going to start with the jazz tag. This was put on by Chris, Tunes from the Man Cave. And let's just see what we come up with here, okay? You know, some of these are pretty obvious. I wrote down the questions, and as usual, my handwriting is such that I really can't read what I wrote anyway, so hey, it doesn't matter. Okay, so question number one. Album that got you into jazz. Well, you've heard it, you've seen it, I've talked about it. Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. A neighbor that was a jazz musician, I've talked about this 1 billion times, gave me the CD and said, listen to this. And that CD changed my thought about jazz, changed just so much of my life, and this is my all-time favorite album of all time. That's why it's called All Time, right? It's gorgeous from the opening track to the end, and I like every bit of it. This got me started. First jazz album you bought? Well, Air, okay. I don't have it anymore, the first jazz album I bought, but it was Herbie Hancock's Future Shock, because it had, has that, the one that was popular on, God, I keep wanting to say Mr. Hands. It's not called Mr. Hands. It had the music video, and for the life of me, I can't think of the name of the song now, but Herbie Hancock Future Shock, which I never really thought of as jazz. I didn't really know who, quite honestly, in the 80s, I didn't know who Herbie Hancock was, except that he did this album called Future Shock, and it had one really cool song. The other ones were, I don't know, but I really loved that hit that was all over the airwaves. It was weird. Bum, 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 bum. There. I mean, how could you miss that? Moving on. How about a Blue Note? Let's show something from Blue Note. You don't need to see the labels, do you? Because this is a reissue anyway. Or Silver, Song of My Father. This was a Music on Vinyl reissue. And the first time I heard this was Chris from First Pressing Goodness. He gave me a VCLT a couple years ago. And it was Horace Silver, Song of My Father. And it was incredible. I just never, I saw that. Who's that old guy there? Well, that was his father. I thought that was Horace Silver. I go, isn't it any good? And wow, what a great album, man. If you're new to jazz, this is one of those, shall we say, beginner, get into jazz kind of albums. Really worth looking into. So that's off the Blue Note label. It says Blue Note there. Now, the next one, show a Prestige label. Well, this is an OG of cooking. Obviously, I have lost the cover, but that's Prestige. I did get this one. I do have the cover on this one. There we go. It's Miles Davis, Beggs Groove. And you can see there it is. That was a OG also. The other one's Miles Davis. I don't know if I said that. So, Prestige. Impulse. Oliver Nelson. The Impulse. And... well, it says Impulse. It's on MCA label, though. So how about that? Obviously, MCA bought Impulse, but that's what it says. That's what we go with. But I also had this one. So this is a new one that came in on Impulse here. And this is Sylvia. This is Snarky Puppy. And the Metropole Orkfest. And there you go. That's an impulse label, isn't it? This is a really good album. Again, this is one, again, SCLT, that was sent to me. Really loved it. A newer album. This came out in 2015. Just so good. Really snarky puppy. Fantastic stuff. You want to see a Riverside label? I got to pull all these out, man. Now the problem when you pull things out is you got to put them back in, right? That sucks. There we go. Riverside. And Thelonious Monk Quartet. Mysterioso. I believe I finally hit that one right. This was gifted to me by the VCLT. So most appreciative. Always good to have a little Thelonious Monk on Riverside. Then contemporary. Wow, I didn't want to look through every record to find it, so I'm punting, okay? Call me lazy. That's fine. How about, though, a small label? I don't know what is small? Small. I thought about taking like a CD. CDs have really small labels. You know, they're even hard to read. They're so small. And then I thought they might be talking about a record label. So we're going to say, I guess, is this small? MRC. This is an OG of Clifford Brown's, the Clifford Brown All-Stars. And actually, this was I bought this from Chris, Tunes from the Man Cave, a few years back. He upgraded his copy, and he offered me if I wanted to buy this from him, and which I did. And so, Chris, I do not have the cover anymore, but that is, I think, a small label. Record many people may not know about. I didn't know about this, but then you could say that with a ton of jazz, that I wouldn't know about it. But this, and a guy I really always appreciate that just always will help me spend my money is Dave. And he asked me, said, hey, order me this Sonny Shrock. And so, you know, because I'm in Vinyl Me Please. I go, really? What is it? And he goes, what's kind of free jazz or whatever? He goes, you need to buy it. And when Dave tells you you need to buy something, well, you just buy it because Dave said so. So I did. It was really, really good. I kind of bought it with apprehension, but I'm told this is going to be great. And it was very good. And so it's something, if you see out there, really worth picking up. And I guess it is kind of free jazzy, but I personally found it to be very, very good. So there it is, Sonny Shrock. How about favorite record of 2020? This one came out in 2020. And I really like this one. This is Greg Fote. I heard... oh my God. What channel was that? Son of a gun. I heard this on one of the videos. Baraka P. Dub played this, and he dropped a sample on it, which those samples are killers on me. And I heard it, and I go, wow, that sounds really, really good. And so it's Greg Fote Symphony Pacifique. Beautiful stuff. Came out last year. Just wonderfully gorgeous album. So 2020 favorite album. And let's see, favorite in a discography. I really thought, should I just do all Miles Davis on this? Except I couldn't do all the different labels, but a lot of it I could. And yeah, I would just show favorite discography. I just go, hey, Miles, kind of blue. Then we go something else, kind of blue. But I'm going to give you some variety, okay? So Lee Morgan, I love Lee Morgan. I just brought this back in, just showed it again. But Lee Morgan's The Cooker. Yeah, this is one of the Tone Poets. I think this is just such a beautiful bop album. It just sounds great. It's exciting. It's a cooker. That thing really cooks. It just goes. Good stuff. Again, for entry jazz, this is really good. My jazz, if you are heavy into jazz, then you're probably getting really bored with a lot of these selections because they're more basic. Because that's where I am at in jazz. I'm not this huge, well-versed person. I like jazz, but I know what I like. But I keep trying new things, and again, some folks, they just say, hey, try this, and I'll give it a shot and see what it's like. The next question was favorite record bought in a store. Well, I buy a lot of records in a store, but so I just pulled this one. Water Babies, Miles Davis, Water Babies. More sleigh bells, please. This, I really like the early 70s Miles Davis. He had, obviously Bitches Brew. He had Big Fun. You have Robert Johnson here that came out. Water Babies. This is actually kind of, this is more, it pushes back into the 60s, but they just remade, because Miles was taken off again, so they just took songs and they put it on this and it came out. But great album, really enjoyed it, and I bought that in a store. Then we have record bought online, and I have to thank Michael from Noted and Archived. He showed this and I wound up buying it, and it was Ike Quebec. And the name of the album is Bossa Nova Soul Samba. This is just, this again, it's kind of this quiet, kind of a cool sound. Bachelor pad type music almost, because it has that samba and the bossa nova. Quiet, introspective, really beautiful. This was just a wonderful pressing from Analog Productions. It sounds crisp, clear, wonderful stuff from Ike Quebec. And so thank you, Michael. Then, a record a friend gifted you. Over half my albums, you folks have gifted me. So, I could pull out hundreds, but we're going to do this one. This was really neat, and this comes from John Bolger out of Ireland, and he sent me a lot of jazz, and this is one of them from Jim Hall, and it is Concierto, and it is on the CTI label. Getting beautiful sounding album. I was blown away by it. It sounded so nice, just easy to digest jazz. Sounded wonderful. So we have that one there gifted, but there's so many albums that everyone has sent me. There's a billion to choose from. In fact, I've been showing you a bunch of them already. Then we have a jazz box set. Well, I have one. Actually, in CD, I have a lot of them that I saved. They're all Miles Davis and John Coltrane. But I did buy this one in vinyl. John Coltrane, The Atlantic Years in mono. So you have all those various Coltrane albums that you can enjoy in mono. So we have that. It's quite heavy. How about a 10-inch or 7-inch? Well, how about a 10-inch or 7-inch? You send me one, I'll show it. No, don't have any. And, I'm staying out of 7 inches, 10 inches. I'm just doing albums. Most recent jazz score. Okay, let's do... I had something here. Okay, this is my most recent one. Willie Colon and Cosa Nuestra. I just showed this. I really missed out on a lot about talking about this album first because Cosa Nuestra, which is means our things, is also the name of the Puerto Rican mob. And if you look at that jacket, so there's a body. There's a big rock tied to it. He's holding, Willie Colon is a trombonist, so he killed him with a trombone. You take that, the thing, the slide you push out there, you hit you right in the neck. Knocks you dead every time. It happens. And it's a kind of a problem in orchestras. A lot of people have died in orchestras because they got hit by that trombone. And little known fact. But this is salsa, jazzy salsa, just incredibly wonderful album, finger snapping, popping, and just darn cool album cover also. So Willie Colon is my newest item that I most recently bought. I also had a Clifford Brown, but it sucked. Okay, jazz album you hope to find. Well, I don't know. I see it when I see. You know, I don't have a jazz album that I am out there going, if I could only get that, if I could only get that, if I could only get that. I really don't. When I go into record stores, if I see something, I'll buy it if I want it. I get excited about it, but I don't have a specific grail or anything that I am chasing. So, hey, whatever appeals to me. You know, generally, you know how I buy most of my jazz albums? From VC channels. They show it and I go, God, that looks really cool. And then I'll go buy it. So, hey, depends on what you guys show. Show something, I may buy it. But, an album you'd like to upgrade. So on the flood, I lost my MoFi Bitches Brew, but I was given a Bitches Brew. And so again, it was most appreciative because it's like my second favorite jazz album of all time. And I would love to upgrade, you know, to even a better copy. This sounds great. It works great. I have no complaints, but it would, you could find, you know, like, you know, the MoFi now has gone out of control, when I bought it was a lot cheaper than what it is now. But, you know, there's really good pressings of this out there, and I would like to get one. So this is definitely one I would like to upgrade in the coming years. A free jazz record. You know, I keep looking at for free jazz records, and every time I bring them up, I go, is this free jazz? And go, well, yeah. And then they charge me for them, so it confuses me. I don't get that. I've yet to get a jazz album for free. But here's something of free, I guess it's kind of free jazz. And Dave from Local Bandography. You know, I forgot to say Dave's channel the first time. Dave from Local Bandography, he recommended this. He showed it. And it is Joe McPhee, Nation Time. And I believe there is elements of free jazz in this. I love this album. It was so good. I would like to get, again, that I could get the whole cover, but great stuff on that album. And then it goes Desert Island album. Only one. And it don't matter what genre. I don't care what. This, out of all my music, in my old collection, in my new collection, this is my Desert Island album. No doubt about it. So, we begin with Kinda Blue, we end with Kinda Blue, we go full circle, and the circle is complete in Jazz Tag 2021. So, hey, thanks for putting up with that. I'm going through it. I thank you, Rachel Music Ma'am, for inspiring me to do this. I truly appreciate it. Otherwise, I would have punted. Now I got to look at the blues for Chris the Blues, the guy, and see what I can do with that. So, thanks everyone for watching. Have a good one. Bye.